Hi everyone, and thank you for watching. So I'm out in this field right now, and I've actually made a video here not that long ago, like a couple of months ago, and I like this field. It has these, I don't know if you can see the color, but it has this like red rock or red brickish type of mineral dirt or whatever on the ground, and it's real cool. It makes me feel like I'm on a different planet or something, or some post-apocalyptic area or something like this. But anyway, I kind of like that feel, so I'm here again. And it has a bunch of different backgrounds to it. Like, for example, I got a factory back here. I don't want to see a factory actually, but there's a factory back here. And back this way, there's a roadway, which what I'm really trying to escape because it's real loud here when you go, especially with roadways. And back this way, it actually gets real pretty back this way, and I've been back that way before on the video. And it has a really nice pond, and there's like mountains in the back. I don't know if you can see it, but they're real pretty. And of course, all the way around, you 360 this, and there's lots of green and just beautiful foliage and trees and shrubs and all kinds of plant life. So so in this video, I'm going to talk about mitochondria. I haven't made a mitochondria video in a very long time, and so this video is long overdue. And my focus of this mitochondrial video is going to be on aging and water. Aging and water. And I'm going to tie these three things together: mitochondria, aging, and water. And I'm going to tie them together, hopefully in some ways you've never heard it tied together before, and hopefully while I'm talking about this and explaining things, you learn from the collateral information that I release or let go while I'm explaining and talking about these things. So my main motivation for making this video, what inspired me to make this video, is I ran across a really interesting long video, maybe like 6-hour interview. I watched all of it, probably a couple of times already. And it's from one of my favorite mentors, Dr. Jack Cruz. And I love this guy because like no one else can, or no one else I've seen do it. And I mean by far, he's like way ahead of anybody that I've seen. And if anyone's better, then they're nowhere near able to articulate their vision the way he can, to where I can understand it. And I feel like I have the capability of keeping up with people with these really big minds. So that's what's so great about him. And it helps me understand like my body and the potentials of it, and nature, and everything starts from within. It all starts from the inside, and if you build inside, it builds the world. Everything starts from the inside. You can't change the world from the outside. It all starts from the inside. So that's what I focus on. And in that video, he hit on a bunch of different topics that I've been following him for about a decade. And a lot of things that I learned from him like a long time ago, they were like incomplete thoughts. And like he would teach something, but I would like say, how is that I don't understand how that works, or I get it, but I think this means this, and I have to just keep thinking about it. And in some instances, years go by where I don't get the answer, but I keep paying attention and learning, and the answer comes to me. And I guess it's a sign of a great teacher. It's a sign of a great teacher, because a great teacher doesn't give you the answer. They set you up so that you end up finding the answer all by yourself. So one of the topics that I got inspired by, that he talked about in the video, and he talked about a bunch of different topics, like probably 20 20 plus more different topics. But one topic was water, and I already kind of knew about this and wanted to talk about it myself, but I wasn't sure if I had all the material or the knowledge or the right wording to make a coherent video and give a coherent speech about the whole topic. But now I think I'm inspired enough, and let's do it. So this video is about mitochondria. So mitochondria, aging, and water. And okay, so all three of these things are related. They have a very tight, close relationship, and I'm going to explain why. Now, as you age, your mitochondrial function decreases. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows it. So, and mitochondria are considered like the foundation of health. So, you could think of it, you could think of it as your mitochondria are the reason why you die. So theoretically, if you preserve your mitochondria, you live longer. Or if you make your mitochondria somehow eternal or last forever, then you live forever. If you want to live forever. I don't. But with mitochondria in aging, if they're tied together like that, you have to ask yourself, what does a mitochondria do? And the answer to that is a mitochondria takes in energy and it puts out energy. So it's like an energy transformer. It takes in a certain type of energy and puts out a different type of energy. So what type of energy does a mitochondria take in? Mitochondria take in electrons. And I'm speaking about just the most well-known energy that mitochondria take in. I don't know, they probably take in some other different energy, but I know about electrons. And you get electrons from the food that you eat. And when I say electrons, I'm actually talking about like negative electricity. So you actually get negative electricity from the food that you eat. The food breaks down to electrons, negative electricity, and it feeds your mitochondria. Also, you get electrons from just what I'm doing now. I'm grounding myself. If you see my feet are on the ground, you get electrons from the earth. I'm actually feeding myself right now. I'm getting electrons right now from the sun. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm getting electrons all kind of different ways, and I'm also getting electrons from the oxygen that I'm breathing. So you feed in a bunch of different ways. You don't just feed in what you eat. But let's just stick to what you eat to keep everything simple and basic and keep everybody on the same page. So when you eat food and your mitochondria get the electron, break down, strip the electrons from the food, and they get fed, your mitochondria they output three different things. Mitochondria outputs CO2, so they take in the electrons, they put out CO2. Another thing that they put out is ATP. You could think of ATP as chemical energy. And the other thing that a mitochondria puts out from consuming electrons is water. So they actually make water. And the water that they make is not like the water you get from your tap faucet. It is a special water in the body, because the water inside of a body is totally different. It's totally not the same. And that's one of these mysteries we need to uncover and figure out. And once we figure this out, then there'll be some quantum leaps in health. So those are the three things that a mitochondria put out. So then we have to ask ourselves, how does this relate to longevity? And I'm just using common sense or I guess critical thinking, and I'm being logical, I guess. I know some things just don't make sense, well, they aren't logical in the way you would think they would be, but I'm using my logic. And my logic is saying to me that an older person, of course, they get weaker. There's less energy. So we can relate that to the ATP that was made. ATP is basically the chemical energy. So your mitochondria are making less chemical energy as you age. and I think there's like a 10% decrease every decade or something like this of I think mitochondrial function. I'm not sure if it's 10%, but I know there's like a steady decrease every decade or something like this. So we could say, okay, mitochondria, the energy decreases decade after decade, and they reduce function. Mitochondria reduce function. We can say this contributes to aging, but there's another part to it, because your mitochondria don't just make ATP or chemical energy; they also make water. And you have to ask yourself, what is water? What is the water that mitochondria make? Is the water actually energy? Yeah, it kind of is. And here's the reason why it is kind of energy. Now, water water made from mitochondria is like the battery or the storage for the energy. So your mitochondria is making the chemical energy, and is making the battery, the water. So it's giving you the battery, and it's giving you the charge for the battery. It's giving you those two things from the water and the ATP that you got from your mitochondria. And as you age, another thing that's known about about aging is that you lose water as you age, and it's the same type of deal where you lose about 10% of the water in your body every decade. I think after the age of like 20. So I think around 20, you 20 you have like 100% water in your body. It's a fully hydrated body, and you're at your youngest, prettiest, I guess. Then 30, you're 90% water. Then 40, you're 80% water. 50, you're 70% water. 60, you're 60% water. 70, you're 50% water. Like this, and on and on and on. So water's a big deal with aging. So from that, well, what you could deduce from that is that you lose 10% of your battery. Your battery, the battery holds the energy every decade of living, and you lose 10% of the chemical energy in that battery every decade as you live, because mitochondria make those two things. Mitochondria make the water, which is the battery, and mitochondria make the chemical energy, which it's the energy that charges the battery. Now you're probably wondering, what about the CO2? What does CO2 do? I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out for years actually, and hopefully I'll figure it out, or come to some type of hypotheses about it or something in the future, or learn about it, or stumble across something. But I don't know that. I don't know yet. But I am looking, and I think I'll come across something soon, hopefully. So that's the relationship between water and aging and mitochondria. And this is one reason why, in this age now, like the past 30 years, especially with this tech era, and all of the communication devices, which most of them use like radio frequencies, and on the electromagnetic spectrum, the next frequency over from radio frequencies are microwaves. And you know what a microwave does? It dehydrates. And one issue, what is believed, Dr. Cruz definitely believes is all the way, and a lot of people are getting on board with this, is that this is contributing to aging by decreasing the water in our bodies, making the mitochondria have to make even more water. So these technological devices are a strain on our mitochondria, or they're thought to be a strain on our mitochondria. And the further we go into the future, that's what the world's becoming, just a whole bunch of radio frequency devices everywhere. It's real sad when you think about it, especially if it's as bad as it seems like it is. I, I hope that it's all just a bunch of what's the word, hype, where people are just paranoid about something that they don't know much about. But I have a feeling that it's somewhere in the middle. A lot of times the truth is somewhere in the middle, and even if it's somewhere in the middle, it's still not that. It's still not a good thing, I don't think. So that's my whole spiel about mitochondria and aging and water. And I'll finish the video by talking about a very unique anomaly of a woman, a person, in regards to mitochondria and longevity. And there's a woman that I used to like. I was fascinated about long ago. Well, not long ago, like a decade ago. I was real fascinated about her once I learned about her. Her name is Jean Calment. Jean Calment lived to be 122 years old. She's a woman from the south of France. She rode her bike every day in the sunshine. She ate raw chocolate every day, and she lived to be 122 years old. And a lot of like what she pulled off went against a lot of the rules in regards to health, mitochondria, and aging and stuff like this. So I think we can't use her as a model for like a poster woman for anti-aging, because a lot of the things that she did, I think it would kill off a lot of regular people if they tried to follow her model. I think it would shorten their life instead of extend their life. But some of the contradictions about her were, for example, they say that the average person, like the longest lifespan of a human being is 120 years old in the most pristine conditions. That means if you did everything right, you didn't smoke, you didn't drink, you exercised every day, you didn't get stressed out with anything, you lived in nature, walked barefoot every day everywhere you went, and ate straight out the ground, did all that good stuff, you would live to be 120. And she didn't do a lot of that stuff. And also, it's a contradiction. Like if you think about, or if you know about the ancient aliens, where it said that our DNA was capped at 120 years old, and we used to live to be 1,000 years old, but our DNA was capped at 120 years old in order to keep us enslaved, basically. Like the idea is that right now we are slaves, but we don't even know that we're slaves, and that's the best slave, a slave that doesn't know he's a slave. And anyway, she kind of broke that theory. She went to 122 years old. She passed that genetic cap, that DNA cap. But it's just 2 years. But but she didn't do it in the most pristine conditions, because she had another habit. She had another habit, a nasty habit. She smoked all the way until she was 118 years old. And she only quit at 118 because her family strongly advised her to do it, because they thought she was going to burn her house down. That's the only reason why she quit. So this lady broke a lot of those types of rules. But in defense of that, there are some scientists and like experts that say that her chocolate habit, her everyday raw chocolate habit, neutralized a lot of her smoking, and which is the bad habit. That the smoking ruins your arteries. It ruins your arteries, which cholesterol goes to heal the arteries, and it clogs your arteries, and it makes trouble on your heart. And also excessive nicotine, like a small amount, if you take nicotine at the proper dose, a small amount, which no one ever does. No one's gonna just smoke a little bit and just throw it away, take one hit. They're gonna smoke the whole cigarette. It's where the problem comes in. with the proper dose and all of this stuff. And nicotine is it's highly addictive, and nicotine eats away at those little capillaries. It ruins those, and it messes up your circulation. So nicotine's a real slippery slope. If you'd have to do it like just perfectly, and you have to know the just right situation, which no one does, in order for it to be healthy. But where was I going with that? Yeah, so they felt that the chocolate neutralized the cigarettes. So she got the benefit from the nicotine, which nicotine supposedly is like it's I forget the word. I think it's called a biogenic amine, and it's able to help you absorb more UV light. And going into Jack Crew's theory, UV light is one of the main energizers and builders in the body of light. Is one of the main forms of light that make the body stronger if you have the capability to absorb that light. And a lot of people lose their capability of absorbing that light because of how they live, because they think it's a bad thing, so they avoid it, and their body gets weak from not using that light. And then when they go into the light, it's a shock to the body, and then it causes adverse reactions to the body. But it's the reason why it causes adverse reactions. It's the same thing as if you all of a sudden you did like a huge, let's say you ran a marathon without training. Some people can run a marathon with no training, but you shouldn't, because if you do that, you'll get all kind of injuries. You'll get all kind of injuries because the body's not prepared to do it. Now, just because you can do it doesn't mean the body's prepared to do it. Versus if you train gradually and you built yourself up, and then you did the marathon that way after building yourself up, then you wouldn't have any like excessive breakdown, because the body's prepared to do that job. So it's kind of like that. And what else about Jean Calment that was unique in regards to anti-aging? And again, I don't think we can use her as like a poster woman for anti-aging. I think we would need more people that have similar situations, and use them and kind of compare them and see what they all have in common. But I'm rambling right now, and I'm going to end the video here. Again, I love you all, and thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Let me know what you think. Give me some input. Like, share, subscribe, comment, browse my channel. And if you in particular like my mitochondrial videos, but maybe the rest of my stuff isn't on your radar, check out my playlist and look for the mitochondrial videos, keeping in mind that I'm evolving every day. So my earlier videos are real simple, but they get more and more complex, as expected, I guess. Anyways, I love you all, and you all take it easy. I'm gone.